This might just change the way you look at the unexplained. Now, before we dive into what's really going on here, brace yourself. Today's episode is stacked with jaw-dropping footage of cryptids and supernatural encounters. I'm Steve. This is Classified Captures.
How could you be so mean? She's so perfect.
Rescuing strays is a noble thing to do until you rescue something like this. This dog was rescued by a couple in Puerto Rico. Just one look at it is enough to let you know something's different. The dog, now named Nina, had no fur, teeth that jutted permanently from her mouth, and what appeared to be missing or malformed eyelids. To most people, she looked less like a typical rescue, and more like a creature lifted straight from folklore, and that's where things started to get interesting. When the couple took Nina to the vet for a checkup, they jokingly remarked that she looked like a chupacabra, but instead of laughing, the vet simply nodded. They agreed. Nina really did resemble the infamous blood-sucking cryptid. With a thin, hairless body, protruding fangs, and haunting appearance, it's not hard to see why some people are calling her a real-life chupacabra. The resemblance is genuinely unsettling. But unlike the terrifying legend, Nina is anything but aggressive or bloodthirsty. She's gentle, affectionate, and all she really wants is a cozy spot to nap and a little love from her humans. In fact, the couple says she settled into a life as a house pet surprisingly well. Not everyone's convinced, though, and everyone includes scientists. They've been running genetic tests on Nina, hoping to uncover exactly what breed or mix of breeds she might be. So far, the results have only deepened the mystery. No single breed stands out in her DNA. It's likely she's the result of generations of stray dogs surviving in tough conditions, slowly evolving into something unique. At least that's the logical explanation. Many in the paranormal community believe her results are inconclusive because she's a chupacabra who fell in love with humans. Yeah, I know, sounds like a Disney film storyline, but do you guys have a better explanation?
Judge, and we look at things that are different and we don't necessarily love them.
Next, we got a strange image here that was captured by a trail camera. This time it caught something unusual. Standing just behind a bush is a creature. It has a vaguely ape-like appearance, and what really stands out are the glowing eyes and an oddly shaped head. Based on the height of the tree next to it and the bush it's partially hidden behind, this thing looks to be around 7 to 8 feet tall. That's taller than your average person. If you know anything about the paranormal community, you know that Bigfoot theories are already flying around. Now, skeptics are already jumping in, saying it could just be someone in a costume, but look closely at the image. Really look. If that were a person with the eyes glow like that, the glow doesn't look like a regular camera reflection. It looks almost internal, like the light is coming from inside. Okay, well, I might be exaggerating a little there, but all I'm trying to say is this thing looks like it's definitely not human. May even proof that Bigfoots are out there, but then again, what do I know? It could just be my bias and love for the big guy. You guys could be more grounded in your description and explanation, so what do you think? Is this thing just an ape, or did the trail cam capture a Bigfoot? It's expected that by now, most people have heard the strange rumors about Tesla cars detecting things that the human eye can't see, including, allegedly, ghosts and unseen entities. But this next story adds even more fuel to that chilling story. A man was sitting in his Tesla, parked right outside the emergency entrance of a hospital. The cameras were running, and everything seemed completely normal. But then, something unusual appeared on his Tesla screen. The car's sensors suddenly picked up multiple figures walking near the car. These outlines, usually meant to identify pedestrians, appeared to be moving around the vehicle, but when the driver looked around in real life, no one was there. He even used his phone to film this scene, panning the camera across the hospital entrance and parking area, and still nothing. Yet the Tesla insisted people were walking right beside the vehicle, not just one or two blips, but repeated movement as if invisible figures were walking back and forth. Now, we could chalk this up to just a glitch if this were the only time it ever happened, but it's not. There have been countless reports of Tesla vehicles detecting ghostly figures, especially near graveyards, hospitals, and accident sites. The pattern is hard to ignore. Some people believe that Tesla's advanced sensor systems may be picking up electromagnetic disturbances or energy signatures that our human senses cannot perceive. Simply put, ghosts. So are Teslas really seeing ghosts? Are the sensors defective, or is every single person posting these clips staging and lying about them?
And I come across this doll, and I want to believe that it's fake, but I'm just about to pull it out.
A man had gone down to clean out a shallow waterway. He brought along one of those long grabbers and was doing a pretty good job pulling garbage out of the murky water. But then, something caught his eye.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Oh, now I'm freaked out. That is heavy. It's all muddy now, I can't see it.
Down in the dark, cloudy water, you can make out the faint shape of what looks like a human skull. Yeah, a skull just sitting there buried beneath the silt and grime. Understandably shaken, the man immediately grabbed his phone and began filming as he tried to retrieve it. He used his grabber to reach in, but he said that the object was too heavy and it wouldn't budge. The tool kept slipping off. He tried several times. Each time he disturbed the water, it became more difficult to see. The dark mud swirled up, clouding the entire area. At one point, the skull seems to vanish in the thick, muddy water, but after waiting for it to settle, the man spots it again, just sitting there perfectly still.
I don't know if you can see it, but I think it's there. Yeah, there it is. You can just see it. That was heavy. Now, it looks like it's been there for a while, but I mean, it could just be a build-up of...
Now here's the twist. Some viewers claim the video looks staged, the skull doesn't move away the way it should, and it might have been edited in the footage. Others argue that if it really was fake, why would the man struggle so much to get it out? You've seen the clip, so what do you think?
And I come across this doll, and I want to believe that it's fake, but I'm just about to pull it out and see.
Some say certain places hold on to memories, whether you call it residual energy, ghostly imprints, or just strange coincidences. These moments can be downright chilling. The next video was shared by someone who was simply walking past a quiet playground. The area was completely empty, but then they noticed the swing. There were several swings on the frame, but only one was moving. A blue swing, gently swaying back and forth as if an invisible child were still playing there. Now you might think it's the wind, but here's the creepy part. Look around. The trees in the background are not moving. Everything else is perfectly still. So what's really going on here? Some believe this could be an example of what's called residual energy. It is a replay of past events trapped in a location and repeating itself over and over again. Maybe something happened on that swing years ago when the energy never left. Others say it's a haunting, a ghost perhaps, or just the spirit of a moment that refuses to fade. What do you think? If you love drinking tap water and live in the US, then this one's for you. Recent research has uncovered something alarming in much of the tap water across the United States. A highly toxic chemical known as chromium-6 has been detected in the water supply of millions of Americans. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it's the same chemical made infamous by the real-life case of Aaron Brockovich. And yes, it's been linked to cancer, reproductive harm, developmental problems, and birth defects. What makes this even more unsettling is that chromium-6 often goes undetected in routine water testing. It doesn't taste or smell any different, and the water still looks crystal clear, but the danger is very real. According to environmental groups, even trace amounts of this chemical over time can have devastating long-term health effects. So how does it get into the water? Chromium-6 typically seeps in through industrial waste from factories, manufacturing plants, and old cooling towers. And once it's in the groundwater reservoirs, it spreads. Some cities have higher levels than others, but the truth is, this isn't just a local problem. We trust that when we turn on the tap, what comes out is safe, but in cases like this, that trust might be misplaced. I know I can't tell you what to do, but you might want to stop drinking water straight from the tap.
I hear the brush popping and stuff. Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
Back in 1999, Bigfoot researcher Paul Freeman went into the Blue Mountains of Washington state. Freeman had been exploring this remote region for years, hoping to find real evidence of the creature so many had only heard about. But on this particular trip, something strange happened. While making his way through the dense forest, Freeman suddenly heard branches snapping, heavy footfalls, and rustling coming from the trees nearby. Trusting his instincts, he quickly grabbed his video camera and began filming. And what he captured has remained one of the most talked about pieces of alleged Bigfoot footage to this day. In the grainy but compelling video, you can see a large upright figure estimated to be around 8 feet tall walking through the forest ahead of him. The creature appears muscular with a domed head and long arms that swing heavily as it moves. It vanishes into the trees after just a few seconds. Freeman's footage quickly spread across the paranormal community, becoming a major piece of evidence for Bigfoot believers. Many pointed to its authenticity, especially considering Freeman's reputation as a dedicated researcher. Skeptics were quick to respond. Some claimed the figure could have been a person in a costume, while others dismissed the whole thing as a hoax, but to this day, no one has definitely debunked the footage. So here we are decades later, and the Freeman footage still stands as one of the most compelling bits of footage in Bigfoot history. But what do you think?
Oh, there he goes. Jesus.
There are a lot of missing persons cases, especially those involving people who go hiking or camping a deep forest and never come back. If a wild animal has been involved, you'd expect to find some signs of torn clothing, blood, and even tracks, but in many of these cases, there's nothing. That's why some people believe something else is going on, something unnatural, and one case in particular has people shaken. A video was recovered deep in the woods. It belonged to a man who'd gone camping alone and had never returned. The footage captured on his camera was found by a search party several days later, just lying in the dirt. The video starts off calmly. He's filming the forest, setting up his tent, and talking about how peaceful the area is. But later that night, things take a dark turn. While he was trying to sleep, he began hearing strange noises outside his tent and something brushing against the fabric. You can hear the fear in his voice as he whispers to the camera, unsure of what's out there. Then something reaches into the tent. Panicked, he unzips the tent and runs into the darkness, filming everything as he sprints through the trees. At some point, he stumbles into an area filled with strange wooden formations, so he stops to catch his breath, pans the camera around, and that's when we see it. A tall, slender, bipedal creature. It was pale as bone and standing right in front of him. The camera is shaking too much to catch its face clearly, but its form is impossible to miss. Then the footage cuts out abruptly. And that was the last time anyone saw him. To this day, the man has never been found. His body was never recovered. All that remained was that unsettling video. Many believe the creature in the video was a skinwalker. If that's true, then what happened to this man might not be an isolated incident. How many others have vanished into the trees and were never to be seen again?
Leave me alone! Jesus Christ.
A family was once awakened in the middle of the night by a loud thumping sound that echoed down the street like horses galloping right outside their home. But when they looked out, there was nothing there. No horses, no people, no cars, just an eerily empty street. So the family decided to set up a camera to capture whatever might be causing the strange sounds. Their neighborhood wasn't known to have any horses, especially roaming around at night, so something felt off. And when they finally reviewed the footage, what they saw left them completely shocked. In the dead of night, while everyone was fast asleep, the camera picked up something chilling. These black, shadowy masses, shaped vaguely like horses, raced across the street. You could clearly hear the loud galloping sounds, but these weren't ordinary horses. Their forms were unclear, almost like smoke or mist taking the shape of something once alive. The way the shadows moved looked like some sort of phantom replayed from the past. Were these the spirits of horses that once roamed the land, or something far more sinister? This next video was shared by a couple who just moved into a new apartment, but what was supposed to be a fresh start quickly turned into something else entirely. Not long after settling in, they started noticing strange things. First, small objects moved without explanation, and then came odd noises at night. At first, they brushed it off, but things didn't stop. They escalated. One night, the girlfriend was alone in the bedroom getting ready for bed. That's when she heard scratching. It was faint at first, but coming clearly from the bathroom. The bathroom door was slightly open, just enough for her to see the shower curtain from where she was, and that's when it happened. As the scratching grew louder and more aggressive, the shower curtain was violently yanked down. She screamed and ran out of the apartment immediately. Not long after, her boyfriend arrived. Shaken, they decided to block off the bathroom by covering the door with a curtain. Still, they didn't feel safe and ended up spending the night at a hotel. Not sure why they didn't just call the police, but they returned the next day where they encountered even stranger things. As they returned to their apartment, from the street below, they noticed something terrifying. The lights were on, and in the window, they saw a figure completely draped in black cloth from head to toe, just standing there, staring at them. When they finally gathered the courage to go upstairs, they found that the curtain they had used to block the bathroom door had been completely torn down, and the pins used to hold it in place were now carefully piled up right on top of the curtain. In their own words, they were horrified. There was no logical explanation except that someone or something was there with them. The thing, however, is, there was no one, at least not in the sense of another human. They believe something is trying to scare them out of the apartment entirely. Looking at the clip, I'm tempted to agree, but the mystery is what and why. Would you eat a parasite if I gave you $1 million? Well, I'm no psychic, but I can already hear some of you in your homes shouting, hell no, and, well, yeah, I'm one of them. Before you say any more, allow me to tell you that you've been eating them all along if you've ever had any of these sweets. Hidden in the scarlet glow of your favorite candy or the rosy hue of the luscious dessert lies a dark parasitic secret. The cochineal bug. These tiny vampiric insects cling to cacti, draining them of life, only to be harvested by humans for their blood-red essence, carminic acid. Crushed and processed, their pigment becomes a prized dye used in sweets, yogurts, and even juices, cloaked behind names like Natural Red 4 or E120. Most unsuspecting consumers have no idea that the vivid colors in their treats are born from the dried remains of these clingy crimson parasites, nature's hidden ink, staining our palates with beauty and a whisper of the bizarre. Now that you know the truth, assuming you didn't see our earlier episode, would you keep indulging in your treats, or are you done with them now? The clip on your screen was captured in September 2023 by a hunting party. It was meant to be another great bow hunting expedition until they started hearing strange sounds in the woods. Thinking there was a bear with them, they set up a camp, putting in the necessary precautions. They even got their trail cam set up just in case they caught something interesting. They then returned to their tents for the evening, and nothing eventful happened all night, and they concluded they were worried for nothing. That was until they reviewed the trail cam footage and realized something visited them that night. It was big, hairy, and dark. It also had the ability to stand in a humanoid stance. One of them initially thought that was proof of a bear there with them, but as they repeated the part of the footage where the creature appears, it became apparent that whatever that was, it was no bear. That's when it hit them. It could be a Bigfoot, but they weren't believers in that nonsense, or so they told themselves. Then they uploaded the clip soliciting views. If you haven't already noticed what I'm referring to, take a good look at the top left corner. You should see a pair of eyes coming into view. Who or what do you think those eyes belong to? Let's hear your thoughts and theories in the comments section. Take a close look at this image. What do you see through that door? This was captured during a firefighter training exercise. The team was running drills in an abandoned house that had been set on fire as part of the simulation. Everything was going as planned. The team was moving in as instructed, preparing to enter through the front when someone noticed something strange. Right there at the open doorway, this eerie humanoid figure seems to be peeking out. At first, you might think it's just the flames and shadows playing tricks, but look closer. It's not just fire. This thing has shape and form, and what's creeping everyone out was the face. It almost looks like a person engulfed in flames, but somehow smiling, leaning slightly from behind the door frame and staring straight at the firefighters. But there was no one else inside the building. It was confirmed empty. Everyone is accounted for, so if that's not one of the firefighters and there's no victim inside, what exactly are we looking at? Some are saying it's just the way the fire formed for a brief second, an illusion, but others believe this could be some kind of entity that made itself visible for just that moment. In Perth, Australia, a witness shared this strange footage of the night sky, and it's left a lot of people scratching their heads. In the video, you can see this glowing green orb up in the sky. It looks like it's slowly falling downward, almost like a meteor, but it keeps appearing and disappearing as it moves. 1 second it's there, glowing bright, and the next it's just gone. Then it pops back into view, lower than before, then disappears again. This isn't something you see every day. Some are saying this might be a UFO that could be phasing in and out of our dimension, only visible at certain points as it travels down. That would explain the flickering effect, right? But if it's slipping through realities or cloaking itself, that might be what we are seeing. Others are more skeptical, suggesting maybe it's a flare or a drone or even a meteor with some odd atmospheric effect, but those who were there they swear it wasn't like anything they'd seen before. So what do you think this was? A craft from another dimension, a cloaked visitor, or just a natural phenomenon that fooled the camera? This video from Romania has people all over the internet talking. A man was digging when he stumbled upon something embedded in some rocks in the soil. As he cleared away the dirt, a massive skull began to take shape. Just look at that, it's huge. But the real question is, what could this possibly be? At first glance, many thought it could be a dragon skull. The size, the structure, it almost looks like something pulled right out of mythology. Just look at those sharp features and the long shape of the jaw. Some are convinced it's proof that dragons or dragon-like creatures once walked the earth. But not everyone agrees, as expected. Those who disagree argue that it looks a lot like a dinosaur fossil, possibly the skull of a prehistoric predator. The argument is that dinosaurs are known to have existed, so the idea of finding a new or unidentified species isn't that far-fetched, especially in a region like Romania, which has a long history of ancient fossil discoveries. Still, the dragon theory has not gone away. Romania, after all, is a land rich with myths and legends, from vampires to forest spirits and, yes, even dragons. So it makes sense for people to tie this find to something out of folklore. There are some who also believe he's faking the whole thing, that he sculpted a stone to look like that. I won't pretend to be an expert on archaeological finds, but I'm sure there's one of you who knows about this subject. Care to enlighten and help us? Is this the real deal, or is someone just messing with us? Look at this dead insect, or at least what's left of it. Half of its body is eaten away and the inside looks torn apart like something ripped through it from the inside. By all accounts, this thing should be completely dead, and yet it's still moving and walking around. That's creepy, right? But what if I told you this isn't the first time we've seen something like this? These kinds of sightings have been popping up more and more. Insects that appear hollowed out or mutilated, yet somehow still twitching, crawling, or dragging themselves around. Some believe it's the work of parasites like zombie fungi such as Ophiocordyceps, which take control of the host's body even after it's technically dead. Others say it could be nerve reflexes or post-death spasms, but that wouldn't explain how some of these bugs keep walking in straight lines or appear to act like they're still alive. Whatever the case is, this insect should be dead, but it's not, and that's disturbing. What would you do if you woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of tapping on your window? Would you get up and open it? Well, this man did, and what he saw still has people shaken. It was the middle of the night, everything was quiet until he suddenly woke up to a strange, repetitive tapping on his wooden window. Thinking it might be a neighbor in trouble or maybe someone who needed help, he got up to check. The window was shut tight, but something about the sound made him curious. So he opened it, and that's when things got horrifying. Standing just outside was this creature. It instantly reached its hand through the window bars and tried to swat at the man. Its fingers were long and thin, its body tall and unnaturally skinny, with pale skin that almost seemed to glow in the dark. The most disturbing part was its massive head. It looked almost alien-like. The man panicked and jumped back, and the person filming the whole encounter started freaking out too. You can hear the camera shaking, the breath catching, and the sheer fear in the moment. But thankfully, the creature couldn't get inside. There were iron bars on the window that blocked its full entry. But what was it? People online are torn. Some say it could be a cryptid, maybe even a variation of the rake. Others believe it's an alien. The elongated limbs, the huge head, the dead black eyes, it all fits. Whatever it was not human, and it wasn't there to ask for help.
So if you ever heard tapping on your window, would you open it? Personally, not me. Did anybody ever watch Salem's Lot, the film that was made out of the book by Stephen King, when that kid comes to the window through the fog and starts tapping at the window? Scariest film ever. Tell me what your favorite film is that scared the hell out of you.
The theory of petrification isn't something that everyone believes in, but there are still some pretty wild pieces of evidence out there that make you wonder if it might be true. Someone recently shared an image of this strange-looking rock, and it doesn't even look like a rock. It looks like the head of a creature that's been turned to stone. You can see the mouth, the teeth, and even the overall shape of the face. It's honestly too realistic to just brush off. If you zoom in on some of the details, especially around the jawline, it resembles something that was once alive, almost like a petrified wolf. That's the part that's freaking a lot of people out. Now, while some believers think this could be an example of petrification, others are saying it's actually handmade, not a naturally formed rock. Still, even if it was carved, the level of detail has left people questioning if it's just art or maybe something more. Could petrification be real in some rare cases, or are we just seeing the work of a very talented artist? Out in the quiet woods of Oregon, a woman was fixing up an old cabin she'd just inherited. She brought her toddler and a dog along with her to spend a few days cleaning and furnishing the place. At first, everything seemed normal, just an old, slightly run-down cabin near the forest. But as the days passed, something started to feel off. The dog, usually calm and well-behaved, would randomly growl and bark at the corners of the cabin where there was nothing there. Even her toddler began talking to someone who wasn't there. One day, she was sitting in a car parked just outside the cabin taking a break while her child napped in the back seat. She looked up at the second-floor window near the doorway, and that's when she noticed something. There was movement. A dark, shadowy figure passed across the doorway inside the cabin, but the thing is, no one else was in the house. She caught the figure on camera. Take a look and you'll see as the figure moves from the doorway into the cabin. Since then, she's been too scared to go back alone. Some say the cabin might be haunted. Something might have been living in it long before she ever arrived. All we know is that animals and children tend to sense things that we can't see, and in this case, they did react to it. So what do you think was in the cabin? This woman had just pulled down her nose mask to take a photograph, but what she captured is something most of us have never seen. Her entire face was streaked with blood, but not from an injury. There was no cut, no trauma, and yet her skin was stained red. But this isn't fake. This was her own blood, and it came from her paws. She suffers from an extremely rare condition called hematohydrosis. It's a mysterious and poorly understood disorder where a person literally sweats blood. Doctors believe it's linked to an extreme stress or anxiety where blood vessels surrounding the sweat glands rupture and leak blood into the glands, which then comes out through the skin. It's not something you hear about every day, and in fact, only a handful of cases have ever been documented worldwide. There's still a lot about hematohydrosis that science hasn't fully explained. Some say it's connected to deep emotional or psychological trauma. Others think it could be genetic, but either way, when you see someone with blood seeping from their face, the first thought that comes to mind isn't medical condition. A couple hiking in South America stumbled across something that caught them off guard. At first, it looked like some kind of glowing alien creature with a reddish-pink color covered in white speckled spots and just sitting there on the forest floor. It wasn't moving like an animal, but it didn't look like any normal plant either. The way it rested between fallen leaves almost made it feel alive. The couple described it as looking like a strange sea creature washed up in the middle of the jungle. Honestly, if you saw it in person, you'd probably think it was something not from Earth. But after some digging, I found out what it actually was, and it's just as bizarre as it looks. This otherworldly thing is called Rafflesia tuanmudae, one of the largest flowers on Earth, and definitely one of the strangest. What makes it even weirder is that it's a parasitic plant. It has no leaves, no stems, no roots of its own. It feeds off the host plant and grows inside, only revealing itself when it blooms. And when it blooms, the flower can reach over 3 feet wide, and it only blooms for a few days before collapsing in on itself. Oh, and one more thing, it smells like rotting meat, which is meant to attract flies for pollination. So next time you're out in the jungle and you spot something strange, it might not be a creature from another world. There's been so much weirdness happening lately, it honestly feels like reality is glitching, but sometimes the truth is surprisingly simple. Take this footage for example. Someone walks into their room only to see the drawers opening and closing by themselves. Now, naturally, the first thought is definitely a ghost. It's a classic haunted house move, right? Random objects shifting on their own, no visible cause, eerily silence in the air. It's enough to freak anyone out, but plot twist. It wasn't a ghost. The person decided to investigate instead of running, and what they found was both hilarious and adorable. Inside the drawer was a cat, their cat, just casually hanging out, playing around, and completely unbothered. The feline had quietly slipped inside earlier without them noticing. From its cozy hiding spot, the cat had been pushing the drawers open and closed. So no demons or ghosts, just one sneaky cat causing a full-blown paranormal scare. The human mind has a tendency to wander, especially when it comes to strange or unexplained things, and honestly, can you blame it? In a world where oddities are constantly being uncovered, it's not so wild to question even the most well-known landmarks. One such place, surrounded by mystery, is the Washington Monument. For years, conspiracies have swirled around its true origins, and one of the strangest theories is that the monument was actually built to cover up a man-eating tree. There are old photographs from before the monument was constructed, and in some of them, a tree stands exactly where the monument now rises. According to the legend, it was a tree that consumed humans. The story goes that the government knew about the tree, and rather than destroy it or risk people discovering it, they decided to build around it. The monument would serve as the perfect disguise. Could this be true? Those who visited the Washington Monument know that there's an elevator inside that takes you all the way to the top, where you get a breathtaking view of the city. But still, if the man-eating tree was real, could it still be hidden somewhere deep within the structure? After all, we only see what they want us to see. A man living in LA shared this strange video he captured one night while walking home. He says he noticed something floating above someone's house and it immediately caught his attention. It was dark, so the object isn't very clear in the footage, but you can tell something was up there hovering quietly above the rooftop before it suddenly flies off into the night. Now here's where the debate begins. Some people are saying this is definitely a UFO, especially because of the way it floated so still before moving off without making much noise. But others argue that it might just be a drone, maybe even one of those Amazon delivery drones. Those who've seen the drones like that in real life say it's kind of resembling one, but also note that the movement seems too quiet, which leaves room for doubt. So what do you think? Some researchers recently made a breakthrough that's either really cool or seriously unsettling. They managed to create spiders that spin red fluorescent webs. How did they do it? Well, the scientists use CRISPR-Cas9, a powerful gene editing tool, and injected it directly into the spider's eggs. With some genetic tweaking, they altered the silk-producing genes to include a fluorescent protein. This resulted in webs that glow a vivid red under certain light conditions, and this is something that's never been naturally observed before. It's definitely an impressive scientific feat, but should we be doing this? Spiders are already a major fear for a lot of people. Now imagine walking into your garage or your dark room and seeing glowing red webs stretching across the walls. Not exactly comforting. Some argue that this could help in things like biomedical research, tracking environmental toxins, or even creating ultra-strong fibers for tech and construction. But others are more cautious. What happens if these genetically edited spiders get out in the wild? It might sound paranoid, but when you start rewriting nature, especially creatures as delicate and unpredictable as spiders, it always carries a bit of a risk. So is this a step forward for science, or are we tampering with things we don't fully understand? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, glowing red webs are real now. This man is Israel Adesanya, a well-known MMA champion, but he's doing something during a press conference that has some people raising eyebrows. Almost every time he's at the table for media events, you'll notice a Monster energy drink placed right in front of him, just like it is for most athletes under sponsorship deals. But he always moves it away. He doesn't drink it, he just subtly pushes it to the side, almost like he doesn't even want to be associated with it. Now, for those who don't know, there's been a long-standing conspiracy theory about the Monster Energy brand. Some believe the logo and imagery are linked to something demonic or cult-like. Whether you buy into that or not, a number of people refuse to drink it because of these claims. The fact that he publicly pushes the drink away, despite how much branding is involved, definitely makes you wonder what's really going on with Monster Energy. Either that, or he's just incredibly clever and understands that those kind of drinks are basically just like drinking crap, and you shouldn't put those drinks anyway near your system.
I mean, come on, let's be honest. Monster drinks and all these kind of energy drinks are so full of crap, you gotta be mad to drink them in the first place. At least that's what I think.
On May the 16th, 2025, something strange happened across multiple states in the US, and it has everyone talking. People from different places started sharing short videos and photographs online, all showing the same eerie sight. A bright streak of light shooting either into or from the sky. It wasn't just one or two clips, it was seen by dozens of witnesses from completely different locations. But here's where things get weirder. Some people swear they saw the beam shoot up into the sky, while others insist it came down from above, almost like it landed somewhere. There's no official explanation yet, and everyone's just left guessing. With how perfectly aligned these sightings were and how strange the light looked, what do you think this could have been? Because, honestly, this one is hard to explain. Still, on May the 16th, something else happened in St. Louis. A tornado swept through the area, catching a lot of people completely off guard. Many locals shared their experiences on social media, and one thing stood out. Some had no idea a tornado was even happening. They said it was just hit suddenly without warning. Two men who were working outside in a truck shared how they watched in shock as a tree fell right in front of them and the roof was ripped off a nearby tractor. Thankfully, they were safe, but many homes and properties weren't so lucky. Now, here's where it gets strange. A commenter who claims they were also in St. Louis says there was a tornado warning 3 days prior and even mentioned a siren alert that lasted 2 hours. So now, who's telling the truth? Were warnings really issued and some people just didn't see them, or was something off with how the alerts were shared? If you were in St. Louis on May the 16th, let us know what you experienced, because if some people were informed and others weren't, we need to understand why. This diver was out in the ocean when he took a quick selfie, but what showed up behind him is absolutely wild. At first glance, it's just a normal underwater selfie, but look closely. Right behind him is a massive creature lurking in the water. It's creeping up on him. The thing is huge, and it has this cold, almost menacing look in its eyes, like it's sizing him up for lunch. What's even crazier is that the diver seems completely unfazed. He's just chilling, posing for a photograph while this giant sea creature floats behind him. Now, at first, people online were losing their minds. Some thought it was a sea monster, others even said it could be a cryptid. But turns out, this isn't some unknown beast, it's just a giant moray eel. And while moray eels can definitely look terrifying, they're usually not aggressive unless provoked. These eels can grow up to 10 feet long, and their mouths are full of sharp teeth. They tend to hide in crevices and coral, but sometimes, like in this case, one might swim out into the open and end up photobombing a diver's selfie. So maybe it wasn't out to eat him, but, well, let's be real, that's one intense underwater surprise. Would you stay calm if you turned around and saw that behind you? Nature can be trippy sometimes. No, we're not talking about camera glitches or digital filters, though what you're about to see might make you think otherwise. Take a look at this adorable little bird. It looks normal enough, but watch what happens to the colors in its feathers as it moves its head. The shimmering pinks, greens, and purples seem to glitch and shift like a hologram. It almost looks fake, but trust me, this is 100% real. This tiny marvel is called Anna's hummingbird, and what you're seeing is not magic. The dazzling color change happens because of a phenomenon called iridescence. The feathers on this hummingbird aren't actually colored like paint. Instead, they're made up of microscopic structures that reflect light in different ways depending on the angle. As the bird tilts its head, the light hits those structures differently, creating the color-shifting effect. Think of it like a living gemstone. These colors can be used for attracting mates, warding off rivals, or simply flexing how stunning nature can be. So while it might look like a glitch in the Matrix, it's just one of nature's most beautiful optical illusions. Someone cracked open an egg and noticed this strange stringy thing inside. They took it out, wondering what it was. Well, this is called the chalaza. It might look weird or even a little gross, especially if you're not used to seeing it, but it's completely normal and not a bad thing at all. The chalaza is just a natural part of the egg. It's the little twisted rope-like structure that helps hold the yolk in place in the center of the egg. Kind of like a support system keeping everything stable. So no need to freak out if you see it. It's not a worm, it's just a sign of a fresh egg. This woman had just parked a car outside the gym when something unusual caught her attention. Up on the roof of the building, there was the strange, dark, shadowy figure. At first glance, she assumed it might just be a person standing up there for some odd reason, but after watching for a few moments, she noticed it wasn't moving at all. The figure had an odd shape. Its head was perfectly round and its body was stiff and unnaturally straight, like it was just propped there. She waited, expecting some sort of movement, but nothing happened. This led to some wild speculation. Some said it was a piece of abstract art, but some felt there was something off about it. There were whispers online suggesting that this could be an entity that's somehow attached to the location, maybe some kind of urban spirit or shadow being silently observing from above. So what exactly did this woman say? A home ring camera picked up something truly strange in someone's backyard. In the dead of night, a person can be seen moving away from the house, walking directly toward the fence. But here's the eerie part. This figure does not stop, it just glides right through the wooden fence as if it isn't even there. You can see the shadow of this person passing in front of the light, so it seems real enough. It even looks like a man in a cap. But that ability to move effortlessly through solid wood, well, that's definitely not something we'd call human. So what's going on here? Are we seeing some kind of superhuman ability, or is this figure a ghostly presence caught on film? Here's yet another terrifying clip the couple shed from their unsettling new home. In this footage, the woman was home alone with their dog when she heard a loud banging noise coming from downstairs. She went to check, only to find their dog standing on a door. This door is from an opening above the stairwell in the wall, located just below the ceiling. What's creepy about this is that they had tried to open that door before, but it seemed securely sealed. Now it had somehow come loose on its own. And as if that wasn't disturbing enough, one of her husband's shoes was sitting right beside the opening in the wall as though placed there intentionally. Understandably freaked out, the woman decided to back away and wait for her husband to get home. Looks like the couple are in for a ride with whatever is in there with them. While flying, a pilot captured this video of an unusual flying object. The object had a saucer-like shape and was rotating while moving in the sky. What made it even more intriguing was the inscription on it, Truff. At first, the pilot thought it said Trump, but upon closer inspection, it was clear that it was Truff. Curiosity piqued, the pilot decided to research the word Truff and found out that it was a branch of hot sauce. The connection between hot sauce and UFOs may seem absurd, but it could be that extraterrestrial beings like spicy food. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but think about it. What's not to love about hot sauce? Alternatively, it could be an entirely different explanation altogether. I mean, what are the odds that aliens speak and write English? Perhaps it's some markings in their language that we interpreted as ours. It's also possible that the video was a well-made CGI, although it's hard to be sure without further investigation. Regardless of the explanation, this sighting has left the pilot and the wider community wondering about the mysteries of the universe and the possibility of life beyond our planet. CGI. I get why they might think that, but is it true though? Is this truly computer-generated imagery? Well, given the limited information we have, whatever we decide is the case will be like taking a leap of faith. This time, however, I would leave the final conclusion to you. What do you think is going on here? Mars is that has long fascinated scientists and astronomers alike. It's often referred to as Earth's backup planet, with some experts believing that it was once teeming with life and greenery similar to our planet. To better understand the planet, its history, and potential for life, many robotic missions have been launched to the planet. Researchers have made some fascinating discoveries from these missions. One of the most notable findings was a long streak on the planet's surface that ended in a curve that appeared to be a craft of some kind, possibly a saucer-shaped object. This discovery raised questions about whether there could be intelligent life on the planet and whether they could be responsible for such an object. In 2020, scientists deployed a device to the planet's surface to measure Mars quakes. However, they were surprised to discover strange, unexplainable noises coming from beneath the planet's surface. These noises culminated in a loud howl, which left the scientists wondering what could have caused it. Some experts believe that it could be evidence of life beneath the surface, while others think that it could be something more sinister. More recently, in March 2021, a rover was sent to Mars to capture visual footage of the planet. While analyzing the footage, scientists noticed something in the
The US presidential election season is often full of buzz, but this year, one incident at one of Kamala Harris's rallies has really caught people's attention. During her speech, a keen observer spotted something unusual in the crowd. Behind her stood a man who seemed to be staring intently at her when, suddenly, his eyes appeared to turn completely white. Though the footage is a bit blurry, the camera zoomed in on him, and for a brief moment, it looked as if his eyes had lost all color. Then, just as suddenly, they returned to normal. This eerie moment has sparked a lot of online chatter, with some calling him a demon or suggesting there might be something otherworldly about it. What do you think? Could it just be a trick of the camera or something more mysterious? Let us hear your thoughts. Now, let's dive into some groundbreaking tech news. Google has reportedly announced plans to build 7 nuclear reactors by 2035. These reactors are projected to be powerful enough to supply energy to an entire city. But what's even more intriguing is why they're building them. Google plans to use this energy to fuel its future AI technologies. Think about it, we're less than a decade and a half away from a world where tech companies could be running their own nuclear-powered facilities just to keep up with the energy demands of AI. This might sound like the stuff of science fiction, but it's quickly become our reality. If Google plans go forward, it's only a matter of time before we see a future powered by AI and nuclear energy, transforming the way we think about technology and energy forever.
Next, we have an intriguing oceanic encounter where an odd-looking reptilian creature is spotted with its head above the water. The creature bears a resemblance to a large lizard, akin to a Komodo dragon. However, the fascinating aspect is that traditional Komodo dragons are primarily terrestrial and not known for their swimming abilities. Seeing a head that looks like a lizard coming out of the water does seem strange. It's however crucial to think about the chance that it might be a different kind of creature or an instance of convergent evolution. This is when unrelated species evolve similar characteristics on their own. Marine iguanas, for instance, are known to swim and are found in the Galapagos Islands. These reptiles have adapted to life in the water, utilizing their tails for propulsion. But without any more details on the location of this sighting and clearer footage, we cannot really be sure of what we're dealing with. Does anyone have an idea? This person was captured at the moment when a sea of mud just erupted through a brick wall and gushed into the streets, flooding the whole place. Mud flows, also known as mudslides or debris flows, can occur in areas with loose soil or sediment, particularly after heavy rainfall or during geological events like earthquakes. This poses a significant hazard to communities as they can swiftly inundate homes and infrastructure. In this case, I think it was after rainfall because the weather looked cloudy, or am I just seeing things?
Speaking of orbs, here's another encounter that leaves us with even more questions.
Watch this.
Mírala, 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 mírala. Mira esa luz de ahí, ¿sí la estás viendo? La luz. Si la miras la luz o solo la miro yo?
Two women were out in the wilderness when they noticed something hovering just a few feet ahead. Suspended in the air, glowing with an intense light, was a bright orb completely still. The women were so taken aback by its presence that they froze, keeping their distance as they filmed it. They didn't dare go any closer, perhaps fearing that what they might find if they did. Unlike the previous footage of the orb that transformed into a human-like figure, this one stayed exactly as it was. So, what's different here? Could it be that not all orbs have the ability to shift forms, or are there different types of these mysterious lights, each with their own purpose? And if this one isn't a shapeshifter, what else could it be? So many questions, yet not many answers. But can you help?
Watch this.
Mírala, 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 mírala. Mira esa luz de ahí, ¿sí la estás viendo? La luz. Si la miras la luz o solo la miro yo?
A woman was walking home one night, taking a shortcut through a wooded area. Partway down the path, she began to feel that familiar chill, as though something or someone was watching her. To ease her nerves, she pulled out a camera and began filming her surroundings. As the camera panned across the trees, it captured a shadowy figure lurking behind a tree to the left. The figure was pitch black with eerily glowing eyes. The woman did not hesitate when she saw it. She turned and sprinted out of there as fast as she could. Now, many people believe this could be a shadow person, while others think it's a skinwalker. But you've seen the clip, so what do you think it is?
Australia, the one place I told myself I'd never visit because of the ginormous and poisonous creatures it houses. Just when I thought I was putting my fears at bay, this clip shows up. In the clip, we see a snake going up the staircase in a home. I can't tell whether the snake is poisonous or not, but this is a sight I wouldn't want to see in my home. I mean, I doubt I would be able to sleep if I ever do see something like this at home. Encounters with snakes in homes are not uncommon in regions with a variety of wildlife. While Australia is home to a range of snake species, most of them are not harmful to humans. However, caution and expert assistance are crucial to ensuring the safety of both residents and the snake. The person attempts to pick up the snake from the stairs, so it seems it's not harmful. Or is it just his pet? A hiker came across this huge person standing at what looked like a doorway at the very top of the mountain. As if that wasn't scary and disturbing enough, the being just stood there and looked down at the hiker. I don't know about you, but that would have been my cue to leave, but not this hiker. He did his best to get us evidence of the whole thing. Having seen the clip, I can't help but wonder, are mountains more than just geological formations? Could there be a hidden world of giants residing in these majestic peaks, or perhaps are the interpretations of these misinterpretations of the actual facts? It's hard to say, but what are your insights on these mysterious giant encounters? Share them with us in the comments section.
What's wrong? What happened? The table just moved. What the f*** you mean the table just moved? What do you mean? I swear to God.
This footage comes from a security camera in a tattoo artist's shop, and it captures something rather unusual. The artist was setting up to work on a client when suddenly the table next to her started to move on its own. Though the table had wheels, it didn't look like she touched it or pushed it at all. The artist quickly noticed and grew alert,
both she and her client looking around in confusion. But then another table in the corner also slid by itself. That was the last straw. Both women decided to make a run for it. Maybe a ghostly client wanted to book a tattoo appointment too. What do you think could have caused this?
What's wrong? What happened? The table just moved. What the f*** did the table just moved? What do you mean? I swear to God.
A late-night worker was outside when he spotted something unusual moving across the yard nearby. A line of small, shadowy creatures with dark, spiky-looking hair were walking one after another, disappearing around the corner of the building. They were hard to make out in the dim light, so he applied a negative filter to the footage for a better view. Take a look at the tiny figures moving together in a line. They're small, almost childlike in size, but they don't seem like animals or anything ordinary. What could these creatures be? Aaron thinks we may be dealing with duendes, but I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Unlike the Baltic Sea anomaly, a groundbreaking discovery in space exploration has left the scientific community excited and thrilled because it's been confirmed to be of extraterrestrial origin. Harvard physicist Professor Avi Loeb and his team claim to have found material from outside our solar system for the first time. This remarkable achievement came from the interstellar expedition of June 2023, where metallic fragments were retrieved from the Pacific Ocean near Papua New Guinea. These metallic spheres, which were recovered from the ocean floor, have compositions unlike any known natural or man-made alloys. According to experts, these fragments may have come from space, which could revolutionize our understanding of the universe. This discovery is a significant milestone in the field of space exploration and opens up new possibilities for research and exploration. It provides exciting insights into the mysteries of space and the potential existence of extraterrestrial objects. The scientific community is optimistic that this discovery will lead to further exploration and research into the unknown aspects of our universe. The odd thing about the discovery is the fact that the professor suspects or thinks that whatever was discovered could be technological, which hints at intelligent life elsewhere in our universe. He's not 100% sure though, but he states that it's tougher than space rocks. Many in the scientific community are skeptical about the discovery, but no professor will put their reputation and pedigree on the line if they didn't think there was something there. Either way, it looks like we may have to wait for further investigations to come to a conclusion on this one. What does your gut tell you, though? During a recent excursion in Puerto Rico, a group of tourists visited the Isabella River. As they were sailing on the boat, Isabella, one of the tourists, noticed something unusual on the water's surface. She quickly pulled out her camera and started filming. Upon closer inspection, she saw a clear outline of a human-like creature under the water. The creature was moving at an exceptionally fast speed, much faster than any human could swim, and chased after their boat. The group was amazed and couldn't believe what they were seeing. They watched the creature for a while, and it stayed under the water for a considerable amount of time. It was evident that the creature was not human given the way it moved and the amount of time it spent under the water. The group couldn't help but share this, and it's very obvious what we are looking at here. It has to be a mermaid, siren, or some other type of mythical humanoid. There's no logical explanation for what this is. At least, that's what a section of the community thinks. What about you? What do you think? Have you ever heard of people emitting electricity? No? Well, this couple shared a video that has everyone talking.
Every time we touch, we shock each other. Okay, Ready? We're gonna kiss. This happened the very first time. It hurt so bad. It just hurts your lips really bad. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm not mentally prepared. Love you.
Oh my god.
Just do it again. Touch me.
That was a little
Every single time we touched.
They went out to a grocery store together, and suddenly they noticed something strange. Every time they touched, there was a small zap. They even tried kissing, and you can actually hear a faint zapping sound. This kept happening every time they made contact. The couple had left their house together with nothing out of the ordinary. This bizarre electric spark between them continued until, eventually, when they tried to shake hands one last time, it stopped. After that, they were able to continue their day without any more shocks. Can anyone explain what was going on?
Every time we touch, we shock each other. Okay, ready? We're gonna kiss. This happened the very first time. It hurt so bad. It just hurts your lips really bad. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm not mentally prepared. Love you.
Oh my god.
Just do it again. Touch me.
That was a little
Every single time we touched.
The implant in my ear is it'll turn on during the interview, and you'll be talking to me and to them.
You don't have an implant. You're pulling my leg.
No, I'm not telling you the truth. You don't know about it? You never read the books?
I read Communion.
Oh, okay. You've only read Communion.
I've only read Communion.
A man named Whitley Strieber, known for his best-selling book Communion, recently shared an extraordinary experience in an interview. According to Strieber, he has an implant behind his ear placed there by extraterrestrial beings. Strieber claims this implant was put in back in 1989. He describes it as an advanced form of intelligence, something like artificial intelligence, but somehow alive. According to him, this device serves as a connection between him and these alien beings, allowing some level of communication or monitoring. Strieber also revealed something even more surprising. He claims that the CIA has taken an interest in this implant and wanted to access the device, but Strieber refused to give it to them. He went on to say that the CIA has established contact with gray aliens and that his implant holds information linking him to them directly. It's a wild story, no doubt. Is it possible there's some truth here?
Why do you think the CIA is so interested in people who have had close encounters?
Well, I think they kind of backed into it because their brief is foreign intelligence. And this is about as foreign intelligence can get.
As we ponder the possibility of alien life, let's explore the supernatural realm. Ghosts, the spirits of departed humans, have been thought to be part of human existence for centuries, often hiding from our sight, but occasionally revealing themselves. They're said to be the remnants of those who have not yet found peace and continue to linger around the living realm. Various pieces of evidence have been presented to support their existence, such as footage of dark apparitions crossing roads and appearing in surveillance camera, feeding dogs. These entities resemble humans in many ways, but their intangibility distinguishes them from the living. They can appear and disappear at will and can pass through solid objects such as walls or cars without any resistance. While they're believed to be humans who have passed on, what if there is more to these entities than we currently understand? What if they're not just remnants of the departed souls, but rather something else entirely? There have been theories that suggest that ghosts could be a manifestation of energy or a projection of our consciousness. Secondly, could the government be involved? Is this a bigger conspiracy than we think? I guess we'll never truly know. However, another commentator provided some fascinating insight into the situation by suggesting that what we witnessing is the parallax effect. The parallax effect is when things seem to move when you look at them from different angles. This happens because the way things look changes depending on where you're looking from. If it sounds familiar, it's because it's the same explanation the reporter from earlier gave. This leaves us with one question. Who is telling the truth? It seems that not only planes can experience mid-air mishaps. Recently, this fascinating video surfaced on YouTube. In the clip, we can see a bird that appears to be stuck in midair. This phenomenon is often associated with a glitch in the matrix, a term used to describe unexplainable occurrences that defy the laws of physics and reality as we know them. The video, which has since gone viral, shows the bird suspended in the air, seemingly frozen in time, with its wings spread out as if it were flying or at least trying to fly. Now, is this another case of the parallax effect as well? Well, I doubt that. The angle from which the clip is being shot should not lead to the effect. This leads us with a couple of possibilities. The bird is indeed frozen in time, there's a glitch in the matrix, or this is CGI. At least that was my hypothesis. I gleaned through a number of the comments on the original post and found something rather interesting. This user, for instance, stated that the issue only existed because the FPS on cam was not in sync with the speed at which the bird was flapping its wings. Another mentioned that it might just be a kite. As varied and diverse as these opinions were, a majority of those in the community believed this was real and
Esto como de luz pasando, pero no se graba muy bien y luego después sale, se para ahí y como que se convierte en un señor, mira. Y se queda ahí, ahí todavía está corriendo el reloj de grabando, mira, se mira como...
In August 2024, a CCTV camera in an empty field recorded something that left many people questioning what they just witnessed. The footage shows an orb glowing softly, drifting over a patch of grassland. It moves almost as if it has a purpose before coming to a complete stop. But what happens next is even more unsettling. Slowly, the light begins to shift, stretching and reshaping until it takes on the figure of a person. As the image becomes clearer, we see what looks like a man dressed in white pants and a shirt, his hair dark. He stands there, eerily still, as though waiting for something. Then, with a sudden movement, he turns around, but as he does, his form distorts, and within moments, the figure dissolves, reshaping back into the glowing orb and floats away in the same direction it arrived. Could this strange sighting be linked to the mysterious orbs people have been reporting in various places? Are these orbs more than just lights, possibly shape-shifting entities watching us, moving among us unseen? Share your thoughts.
Esto como de luz pasando, pero no se graba muy bien y luego después sale, se para ahí y como que se convierte en un señor, mira. Y se queda ahí, ahí todavía está corriendo el reloj de grabando, mira, se mira como...
A man was walking home late at night and decided to take a shortcut through a bridge in the middle of the woods. As he climbed onto the bridge, he began to feel uneasy, like someone was watching him. Trying to shake the feeling, he pulled out his camera and started filming, panning around to see if he could catch anything unusual. When he looked down, there was a face staring up at him. It was a grotesque red face with matted black hair watching him intently. Just as he spotted it, the figure quickly disappeared into the darkness, leaving him rattled. Some people are speculating that it could be a witch or spirit, but others are puzzled by the red, bright face. Could it be some other type of entity, or is there a different reason for its disturbing appearance? What do you think he encountered that night? Around the world, there are countless cave systems and tunnels that remain unexplored, waiting in the dark. One such cave a group of men were working on when one of them decided to toss a rock into a massive crack in the ground. As the stone fell,
There was an eerie silence, an unnervingly long one, before they finally heard a distant boom signaling that the stone had reached the bottom. This shows just how deep these caves might go beneath the surface, but the real question is, how far do these networks underground extend? And more intriguingly, what could be lurking in the depths? It wasn't even Halloween when a driver captured this eerie sight on the side of the road. It was a horseman, but here's the chilling part. The rider had no head. Yes, a headless horseman riding by the roadside. Not sure about you, but I do find this image creepy, and while the headless horseman has long been a legend in folklore, most famously from the legend of Sleepy Hollow, this sighting happened randomly and out of season, and it's unsettling. What do you think? Is this a well-executed prank or something much more bizarre? Aaron, the conspiracy theorist, suspects it might be. If he's skeptical about it, no need to bring Julius into the picture because we know what he might say. But what about you guys? What say you?
En el pilastrón. ¿Qué? En el pilastrón. En el pilastrón está él, güey. Ay, cabrón. Ahí está. No mames, güey. Lo estoy viendo, güey. Bestia. ¿Es él? No, ¿o es sombra, güey? Se está moviendo, se está moviendo, se está moviendo, güey. Es una sombra, es una sombra. Es él, güey. ¡Ah, la verga, güey! ¡No, mames! Ah.
Recently, this particular video has been going everywhere. I have watched it several times and have my theories. Since it's been a while since I asked you guys for your opinion on a post, let's do this one together. I won't be providing this commentary, but I would very much love to hear what you think about it. What do you see? Why do you see it? And what do you think it could mean? Let's get creative in the comments section.
Viendo, güey. Bestia. ¿Es él? No, ¿o es sombra, güey? Se está moviendo, se está moviendo, se está moviendo, güey. Es una sombra, es una sombra. Es él, güey. ¡Ah, la verga, güey! No, mames. Ah.
Literally right behind
you
us
guys.
now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the What the He's right there.
A woman was parked in a lot, glancing back to check her surroundings when she noticed a man walking toward a car with a red truck behind him. But when she looked at a car's rear camera screen, there was nothing there. No man, no truck, just an empty path. What could this be? A glitch in the camera feed? Or could it be something stranger, like a peek into a parallel universe overlapping ours for a moment?
Literally right behind
you
us
guys.
now. He's right by that mailbox and he's not there.
He's not there and the truck is not there. What the What the He's right there.
The bird is just sitting
there. Okay, for real. No, that's crazy.
It's just stuck in place.
A family spotted this bird flapping its wings furiously, but it just was not moving. It just hovered in the same spot as if stuck. After a while, it stopped, then flapped again and finally flew off. At first, it seemed like one of those strange glitches, but there's a simple explanation. And yes, Julius did give it to us. According to him, the bird was likely fighting a strong headwind, which is a gust of air blowing directly against it. Even though it was flapping, the wind matched its speed, so it couldn't move forward. To anyone watching, it looked like a bird that was frozen in midair. When it paused, the bird was likely regaining energy or adjusting its approach, and on its second try, it managed to push through the wind and fly away. So it's not a glitch, just nature at work.
The bird is just sitting there.
Okay, for real. No, that's crazy.
It's just stuck in place.
I've seen snow before. Y'all, I've never seen snow before. I'm just waking up, sorry, y'all. What is this stuff? What? That snow, is it real? What is this? Look at this shit.
Climate change has been a pressing issue for humanity over the years, and it seems we keep hearing more and more about its effects. Temperatures are becoming increasingly unpredictable, with some places experiencing extreme shifts, one example being New Orleans. Take a look at these two clips shared by residents of New Orleans. They woke up to snow. Yeah, snow. Snow is something unheard of in this hot and humid region. The last time they experienced snowfall was back in 2004, over 20 years ago. Now the area is blanketed in snow. Just look at this man's reaction. It's pure shock and excitement. But is this strange weather event connected to climate change, as many believe? One commenter had an interesting take, claiming it's got nothing to do with climate change, but it's part of how the Earth resets itself every 2,500 years. While that theory might not have scientific backing, it's still something to think about. Don't you agree?
I've never touched like snow and like walked in it before. Like, is this legal? Is this legal in Louisiana to do this?
Death can be incredibly painful, knowing we won't see or hear from the people we love ever again. But what if there was a way to still connect with them?
Donna, please hold tight.
Hey, Justin, I'm so very glad you called me today.
I wanted to wish you a happy birthday and tell you I loved you.
Baby, I love you too.
Meet Justin Harrison, a tech entrepreneur who lost his mother in 2022. In his grief, he developed an AI that recreates her voice and personality, allowing him to talk to her almost as if it's on a phone call. With her unique voice, mannerisms, and even personal quirks captured, this AI brings a piece of her back to his life. While it doesn't replace having her there physically, it offers him a sense of comfort. Being able to hear someone even after they're gone is comforting. Would you try something like this?
Donna, please hold tight.
Hey, Justin, I'm so very glad you called me today.
I wanted to wish you a happy birthday and tell you I loved you.
Baby, I love you too.
We're not alone. We are not alone in this universe, and it is a simple fact, and the U.S. government has been aware of that fact now for decades.
It's not exactly a new topic that the government might know a lot more about alien life than it's letting on. Some believe they've been making contact or have technology from extraterrestrial sources. Take a look at what this whistleblower has to say. This man claims that the US possesses alien technology and perhaps even the beings themselves, suggesting they might be experimenting with them or studying their advanced knowledge. And he's not the first to make such allegations. Over the years, countless whistleblowers have stepped forward insisting there's a hidden truth about extraterrestrials that the government isn't sharing with the public. Could this be real evidence of government secrecy on alien life, or are these stories simply the stuff of conspiracy?
We're not alone. We are not alone in this universe, and it is a simple fact, and the U.S. government has been aware of that fact now for decades.
Ever since I saw Aragog trying to eat people he considered friends, my fear of spiders has been heightened, and seeing this clip does not help matters. I know there are big spiders out there, but well, this one feels like it's abnormally large. This left me wondering if it was supernatural, which put me in my research mode. After lots of reading around, I'm certain that this might be the Goliath birdeater. For those unfamiliar with it, the Goliath birdeater is the world's largest spider by mass, native to the rainforests of South America, with a leg span reaching up to 12 inches and weighing as much as 6 ounces. Despite its name, it rarely eats birds, preferring insects, small mammals, and amphibians, and uses its intimidating size and urticating hairs to defense. Interesting, huh? Anyway, do you think I identified it correctly, or is there more to what we see here? A man stumbled upon this massive creature clinging to the stem of a tree in his backyard. It wasn't just any insect. This thing was gigantic, about the size of a human head. Just look at it. It's not every day you see a bug that enormous. But how did it even get there? The man tried to identify the creature by searching online but came up empty-handed. This has left everyone scratching their heads. It doesn't look like a species of moth, beetle, or a cicada we're unfamiliar with. Perhaps it's an invasive creature that travels from another part of the world. Well, who knows? Julius, our science whiz, says it's probably AI, but hey, we're gonna keep an open mind about it.
What the fuck is that?
No, what's...
Run!
Guys, wait!
A group of friends went camping, enjoying the outdoors, and settled into their tents for the night. One of them had a camera ready to record, capturing the calm night scene. Suddenly, his tent mate burst out of the tent yelling, "Run!" Without asking questions, he bolted out of the tent, joining the rest of his friends who had already started running. When he finally reached a safe distance, he looked back, and this is what he saw. Inside one of the tents was a creature, crouched on all fours. It certainly didn't seem human, but if it wasn't, then what on earth was it?
What the fuck is that?
No, what's...
Run!
Guys, wait!
Richtig. Richtig. Sie können gerne versuchen mitzuspielen, meine Damen und Herren. Richtig. Richtig.
You know that spot the difference game? The one when you've given two nearly identical images except for a tiny change somewhere and you have to find it. It's a game that can get intense, especially when the images are full of colorful details and busy characters. Well, there's this little girl who's an absolute genius at it. Watch her as she finds each difference in a blink of an eye without even the most challenging, trickiest images. She barely takes a second, and there she is, pointing out the subtle detail that's different. Meanwhile, most of us would still be scanning both pictures, scratching our heads. How does she do it? Could it be a super sharp eye for detail, or maybe some kind of natural talent for pattern recognition? Well, it turns out it's thanks to a technique called stereopsis training. This method involves the use of stereograms or cross-eyed images, improves binocular vision by teaching both eyes to work together for depth perception. Originally, the young girl, Mara, underwent this vision therapy to address convergence insufficiency, a condition affecting her ability to focus on nearby objects. Through the therapy, her brain adapted, enhancing her visual perception and allowing her to process complex images with impressive speed and accuracy, demonstrating the power of neuroplasty. Impressive, huh?
Richtig. Yep.
This video was taken in India and shows a shocking incident during the Thrissur festival. In this annual celebration, elephants are decorated and trained to parade through the streets. However, things took a wild turn, this time as the elephants went on a rampage, injuring 24 people.
Now, elephants are incredibly massive and powerful creatures. While they can be trained, the process of taming these animals is often harsh and controversial. In many cases, these animals are subjected to beatings to force them into submission before being trained to perform. It seems nature decided to take its course this time. The elephants broke free from their constraints and charged into the crowd, hurtling people aside and creating chaos. This raises serious concerns about using wild animals for festivals and public displays. Was this incident inevitable, given the way these creatures are treated? Is it time to rethink how we interact with animals in such events? In my opinion, this should never have happened in the first place. If you're going to treat animals cruelly just for human enjoyment, then you should expect the consequences. Karma, as they say, is a Two friends were out at sea in Miami when they noticed something strange on the horizon. It was an odd, floating shape with lights surrounding it. The object was hard to identify, and opinions were divided on what it could be. Naturally, they uploaded their discovery to one of the paranormal communities where it spread thanks to the debates that emanated from it. Some suggested it might be a cruise ship, but the lights, how do you explain the lights? I'm not sure I'm the only one who sees that it looks like a fish, right? I'm not sure if cruise ships do this, but many in the community didn't think so. They believed it could be an illusion, such as a fata morgana, which is a phenomenon where lights bend to create mirage-like images over water. It's hard to say if this is a cause for worry or just a cruise ship. Can those of us with expertise in the field confirm this for us?
That looks like the cruise ship flipped over and it's shaped as a fish now.
Let's dive into two eerie pieces of footage captured by different people at unknown locations, showing something massive and unexplainable behind the clouds. In the first video, a man noticed an odd shape lurking behind a large cloud. At first, it looks like an ordinary part of the blue sky, but the top of this object is curved, almost dome-like, while the rest seems to be hidden behind the cloud. It gives the strange impression that something is cloaked in the sky. The second clip is taken by a woman during sunset. It shows something even more dramatic. Against the bright orange horizon, there's a massive curved shape, larger than the first sighting. Bright flashes seem to illuminate the area, briefly highlighting what appears to be a dome-like sky. What could these shapes be? Are they just oddly shaped clouds, or is there something much larger and more mysterious hidden up there? Aaron thinks something extraterrestrial may be at play here. What say you?
Oh my. Do you hear that? Is that happening for you too?
It turns out even superstars aren't safe from eerie encounters. Check out this clip from Taylor Swift's concert when something strange happens. She's seated at the piano, hands off the keys, when suddenly it begins to play on its own. You can see her hands in the air and she's visibly unsettled, looking around in confusion. Could this be the work of a super fan from the other side wanting to join in, or maybe just a technical glitch at the worst possible moment?
I didn't play that. So that means that oh my.
Who is it? Raylan!
Two women were working a late-night shift and had stepped outside by the side of the road when they noticed something eerie in the darkness. There, in the shadows, was a strange figure. It had a human-like shape, but it wasn't solid. Instead, it appeared shadowy, blending into the dark surroundings. The way it moved toward them sent chills down their spines. Could this be one of those mysterious shadow people that many have reported encountering, or was it just a trick of the dim light?
Who is it? Raylan!
What the fuck is that?
This next one was recently shared footage on TikTok detailing a series of unsettling encounters the one recording had with an apparition. In the first clip, he was out walking his dog when he noticed two glowing orbs in the distance. They hovered far ahead, and after a few seconds, they vanished without a trace. But that was not the end of it. Moments later, the eerie sound of footsteps began approaching him, though no one was visible. Then it appeared. A humanoid figure, not solid, but more like an orange-tinted translucent shape resembling a person. In another instance, the same apparition was caught lingering in his front yard in the dead of night. The faint glow and otherworldly presence matched the figure from his earlier encounter. Most people are calling it a shapeshifter, but shapeshifters are believed to be tangible entities capable of taking physical form. But this apparition doesn't fit the description. It's not corporeal, yet it repeatedly makes itself known to him in unmistakable ways. What could this be? A man had set out one night outside on one side of the road that was filled with a lot of people on both sides of the road, mostly men. It seems something is going on because the place is noisy. As he was panning his camera across the bustling road, just as he does, two large trucks drive by side. One has a massive container while the other hauls an unknown load. But as these trucks pass, something incredibly strange happens. From between the two trucks, a man suddenly appears. It's as if he materializes out of thin air right there in the narrow space where no one could realistically fit, not even a child. The road is far too narrow for someone to stand there safely, especially with two trucks passing by so closely. Yet, there he is. Witnesses who saw the footage were baffled. Some believe this could be the sighting of a ghost. Others think it might be something even stranger, like a glitch in the Matrix. What do you think?
At first I was confused about what I was seeing, and I just started looking at it, trying to figure out if it was dust or a bug or what have you. And it just started looking more and more like a hand.
A woman had put her baby down to sleep in his crib, keeping a monitor on to check on him. She wasn't asleep yet herself and kept glancing at the screen to make sure he was all right. That's when she noticed something unusual. There was a shiny orb right above the baby's head. As he turned his head to the other side, the orb moved with him. But what was strange was that it seemed to change shape, forming something that almost looked like a ghostly hand hovering above him. Seeing this, she wasn't as surprised as one might think. Her husband had passed away when their baby was just 4 months old, never having the chance to meet his son as he was very sick and in the hospital. She believed this could be her husband making a gentle visit to their baby boy, watching over him from beyond. What do you think? Could this orb really be her late husband's spirit?
Or is there another explanation?
At first I was confused about what I was seeing, and I just started looking at it, trying to figure out if it was dust or a bug or what have you. And it just started looking more and more like a hand.
Here is a chilling encounter someone shared from their stay at a hotel. This person had booked a room and was casually exploring the place because, well, why not? While checking out the bathroom, they noticed some blue glass walls along one side. You couldn't see through them, so they didn't think much of it at first. Then, as they started opening the closet doors, the first one was empty, and so was the second. But then something caught their eye. It was a seam in the wood, so they slid their keycard into the gap to pry it open, and to their shock, the panel revealed a hidden passage. This passage ran behind the blue glass wall, but that was not all. There was another door within, and when they opened that, it led to what appeared to be a dark, cave-like space. The walls and atmosphere felt completely different from the hotel, as if it belonged to another place entirely. The darkness stretched deep. He felt unsafe, so he wisely chose not to venture further. What if someone could use this secret passage to sneak into your room? Would you even know? Not sure how to feel about this one, but do well to stay vigilant when staying in unfamiliar places, folks. And if you can, always stay at reputable hotels. Still on the topic of trail cams, a man set up his camera in a remote mountain area far from any human activity. This spot was known for its absolute solitude, which made what he discovered all the more disturbing. When he reviewed the footage, he came across this chilling image, a woman standing with her back to the camera. She appeared to be wearing a short dress, or perhaps it was just an oversized shirt. But it wasn't her clothing that made his blood run cold, it was her feet. They didn't look human at all. Instead, they resembled hooves. Considering the time and isolated location, the man is certain no one else was anywhere near the area, adding the extra layer of mystery to this unsettling discovery. What do you think? Could this be a prank, a trick of the light, or something far more sinister? Let us know your theories below.
I hear somebody talking. Somebody's talking.
This footage comes from a man who decided to explore an abandoned tunnel on his own. After wandering through several pathways, he eventually found one that led him down to a set of stairs into a damp, eerie space filled with a murky green water. The entire place was falling apart with rusty walls, crumbling structures, a real underground maze. As he went further in, strange noises began echoing around him. Curious and a little uneasy, he set his camera down to capture what was happening, and that's when he saw it. A humanoid figure roaming through the shadows. He'd hear a sound, and then silence. At one point he even started hearing faint noises, but no one was there. Toward the end of his exploration, he spotted someone holding a flashlight at the far end of the tunnel. Then, to his shock, he heard gunshots echoing through the space. That was his signal to get out of there and fast.
I hear somebody talking. Somebody's talking.
Oh my god, dude. Look at this. Yeah, you gotta go head first. There you go. Don't look at me like that. trying to help you. Oh my God, dude. I've never seen this.
In the Gulf of Mexico near Isla Morada, two boaters had an eerie encounter while out on the ocean. They came across something unusual, these vultures floating on the water. The birds appeared to have fallen from the sky, their wings soaked and heavy, forcing them to remain calm to avoid drowning. One of the men managed to pull a few of the birds from the water and set them safely back on land. But the real question is, what could have caused this? Why would so many birds fall out of the sky in the middle of the ocean? Could it be related to exhaustion, weather conditions, or something more mysterious? What do you think is going on here?
Hey, lock in, twin. All right. Oh, happily released. There's a bunch of them in there. The ones on there, though. Yeah, just.
Mother was in her room with her young daughter when the little girl suddenly said she could see someone in the closet. Take a look at their interaction.
Boy.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing superhero clothes.
Where's he at?
I don't know.
The daughter described the figure as a superhero. When they went into the closet to investigate, the little girl insisted it was a woman in a dress, but the mother couldn't see anything.
Where's he at? What color is he?
He's red.
He's white?
He's red.
He's red? What?
Now, we all know that kids have vivid imaginations, especially when it comes to imaginary friends or made-up scenarios. But what makes this situation eerie is how firmly the little girl stood by her description, pointing out details without hesitation.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Where is he?
It's just a girl. It's a girl.
It's a girl?
Yeah, see, it's not scary. It's not scary.
The mother, however, believes her daughter might actually be seeing ghosts or has some sort of sensitivity to the paranormal, but given she can't see it herself, it's quite hard. So what would you do in her stead as a mother? Would you agree with the child, or would you dismiss the whole thing?
And her white legs.
Okay.
And her red dress. Let's get out of this thing.
When it comes to tales of spirits, science often explains these things away as nothing more than frequencies, waves, or illusions. But did you know that some of the world's most brilliant scientists and inventors speculated that these so-called spirits, entities, and higher beings might actually exist? Yes, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, two of history's greatest minds, were among those who entertained such beliefs. Back in 1901, Nikola Tesla published an article titled Talking with the Planets, where he claimed to have made contact with entities from beyond Earth. Using a device he created, Tesla reported hearing strange voices that sounded like beings communicating in an unknown language. Similarly, Thomas Edison, known for his revolutionary inventions, worked on something he called the spirit phone. This device, according to him, was designed to help communicate with spirits from the beyond. The audio you're hearing now is a representation of what Tesla described hearing: mysterious, otherworldly signals. What do you think? Could these scientists' legends have been onto something? I know you're tempted to think this is some devil worship, but it's not. Welcome to the Krampus parades, or Krampusschlaf. If you're hearing it for the first time, it refers to the traditional alpine events in Austria, Germany, and nearby regions where performers dressed as the terrifying Krampus storm through the streets to scare and entertain. Wearing elaborate wooden masks, fur costumes, and clanging cowbells, these Krampuses chase spectators, creating a mix of fear and excitement. Rooted in pre-Christian pagan traditions, the parades celebrate Krampus, the demonic counterpart of St. Nicholas who punishes naughty children. It's often held in December around St. Nicholas Day. These wild events are filled with roaring, laughter, and fire-lit spectacles, blending folklore with festive fun. Is this something you would want to attend?
This footage was captured on Miami Beach and shows two strange lights in the sky, one above the other. As you can see, there are quite a few people on the beach, all filming the mysterious sight. What makes this even more intriguing is that there's no official information about any rocket launches or other events that could explain the lights. So what do you think this is? Could it be a UFO, or is there more earthly explanation for this unusual phenomenon? This woman happens to be a particle physicist working at CERN in the UK. Yeah, CERN, the organization behind the Large Hadron Collider. She shared something intriguing on TikTok. Take a listen to what she had to say.
Between the 21st and the 25th of January, there is going to be a beautiful display of the planets all lining up in the night sky, and I just really want to pass the message on that CERN, with the Large Hadron Collider that was used to discover the Higgs boson, we are off right now. We are not running. So anybody who might have gotten slightly over enthusiastic when the solar eclipse happened in North America, the Large Hadron Collider is not running. We are off. Anything that you think happens is nothing to do with us. Okay, thanks.
Now, this is quite odd. She felt the need to post a video warning us about a celestial display happening between January the 21st and January the 25th. This display will be the alignment of all the planets visible in the night sky. What makes this even stranger is that she emphasized that she shared the information early, fearing the potential TikTok ban in the US, so everyone could know about it. Oddly enough, she specifically stated that CERN's collider has been taken offline, implying that whatever happens in the skies during this alignment is not connected to CERN. For those unfamiliar, CERN has long been at the center of conspiracy theories. Many accuse it of opening portals or even contributing to alien arrivals on Earth, especially after their discoveries involving dark matter. But for someone working directly at CERN to proactively say, "This isn't our fault," before the event even occurs, well, that's very suspicious. Don't you think?
So anybody who might have gotten slightly over enthusiastic when the solar eclipse happened in North America, the Large Hadron Collider is not running. We are off. Anything that you think happens is nothing to do with us. Okay, thanks.
Our next clip was captured on a home ring camera on an 8th of December 2024. It did capture some truly bizarre footage that has left viewers stunned. Take a look. In the dark night, two glowing lights appear, flying silently across. One is in the lead, with the other following closely behind. Although the craft itself is invisible due to the darkness, the brightness of these lights is enough to suggest that something unusual is in the air. Now, let's think about this. It's highly unlikely that someone was out at this hour releasing fireworks. Not only do these lights lack the erratic bursts of fireworks, but they also move steadily across the sky in what appears to be a controlled manner. So could this be evidence of a UFO, or is there a more mundane explanation? Aaron, our in-house conspiracy expert, doesn't seem to think so, but what say you? A woman was standing on the side of the road when she experienced something truly baffling. She noticed, reflected in the glass near her, a car approaching her from the front. The headlights and the motion were clear, and it seemed like the car was heading straight toward her position. But then, as the car got closer, something inexplicable happened. Instead of coming from the front, as the reflection had indicated, the car suddenly appeared from behind her. It passed her from behind and drove away, leaving her stunned and confused. How could this be possible? Was it an optical illusion caused by the glass, or could it be something even stranger like a glitch? Julius looked at me funny after I said all this and asked me if I knew how reflections worked. Guys, is my paranormally blessed brain causing me to miss something? I came across this intriguing video of a man passionately ranting about the moon, and it got me thinking. Take a listen to what he has to say.
Wouldn't it be crazy if it's much easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than its existence? That's not me, by the way. That's a NASA scientist. So yeah. And wouldn't it be crazy if to this day, scientists around the world have no consensus on how the moon was actually formed? It'd be kind of crazy if moon rocks and soil samples from the moon don't really make any sense, because soil on the surface is older than the soil beneath it. Furthermore, like every other planetary object, it gets denser towards the core. The moon, it's reversed. The density is higher on the surface. All the craters on the moon appear to be like the same depth. It's almost like the moon has this metallic shield covering it or something. And I guess it would be crazy if the Apollo 12 crew purposely detached a landing pod and crashed it into the moon, and the moon rang like a bell. This is according to the astronauts, and it reverberated, vibrated for over an hour, like it was hollow or something.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. He points out several peculiar things about the moon scientists are still uncertain about: how the moon was formed, how the surface material of the moon is older than the material beneath it, and how the moon's density seems to be reversed compared to what we'd expect. And he raises so many other logical and thought-provoking points. It's almost as if there's more to the moon than meets the eye. What aren't they telling us? The idea that the moon could be some kind of advanced space structure or even a spaceship oddly makes more sense when you consider these points. What do you think? Could there be more to the moon than what we've been taught?
And I guess it'd be crazy if there's ancient cultures that talk about a time before the moon was in the sky. So I guess what I'd be saying is it'd be kind of crazy if the moon was actually a hollowed out space ship, alien spaceship or satellite.
A family was driving home late one night when they encountered something truly strange on a quiet, dark stretch of road. At first, everything seemed normal until they noticed something unusual up ahead. In the distance, through the darkness, a series of strange lights began to flicker. At first, they thought it might be headlights from another car, maybe a reflection, but this wasn't any ordinary light. Floating above was a strange starfish-shaped object emitting a pulsating glow. The lights blinked in and out, and the object appeared to be moving up and down slowly, almost like it was bobbing in midair. They piled over to the side of the road and began filming. The object hovered silently in the distance. They watched it for several minutes, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. There were no wires, no sound, and no explanation. Some people believe this could have been a UFO. The strange hovering motion, the blinking lights, and the unexplainable shape all seem to fit classic UFO sightings. Others suggest it might have been a plasma entity, which is a naturally occurring but extremely rare phenomenon where energy takes on a visible free-floating form. Plasma life forms are often theorized by fringe scientists as a possible explanation for certain sightings that don't seem to match any known aircraft or animal.
but skeptics say it was probably just a drone or a trick of the light. So what do you think it was? And with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us, and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have.
I'm Steve. This has been Classified Captures. Share this with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.